Hang on, it's just preparing to live stream the webinar. There we go. Okay, we're good. Wow. Okay, guys, welcome. And first of all, I want to talk about tariffs a little bit. Not a lot. I'm not a political guy here. I understand that for me, I had a loss last Tuesday. Okay, last Tuesday, and I could see things really going out of whack with the Trump tariffs. So I haven't actually traded since then. Okay, I've stayed out of the markets. For one thing, trading is all about behavior, strategies, indicators, all work on an algorithm with certain rules. Those rules work in normal market conditions, even with high volatility. Unpredictable volatility is not normal behavior and therefore extremely dangerous and difficult to trade. I think in the Discord group, I think it was either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, I basically said, guys, let the dust settle. What does the dust settle mean? Okay, so right now we've just had this 90-day relax. Everybody just gets 10%, come to the table. Okay, now this means that in theory, things should settle down, but we need to see that. We need to see the normal correlations, and we'll talk about those in a little while. We need to understand the behavior between the new support and resistance zones, or the ones that have been broken over the last week. So in reality, next week isn't a trading week. If that dust settles and calms down for the rest of this week, we look at next week as understanding that behavior, see where those new support and resistance zones are for day trading, understand, and those correlations get back in sync and behavior is normal, and then we can start to optimize, strategize, and get that trading going again. It's a long year. 2 weeks out of the year isn't going to break the bank. Okay, it's about getting it right and not taking too much risk. There's lots of risk with trying to trade the really unpredictable volatility. One of those risks is that the broker order book not necessarily does what you want it to do. Okay, so even if you put a stop loss or a sell order or whatever it is, somebody on the other side has to want to buy or sell. Okay, and that order book is filled by the broker electronically. If it can't fill where you want your stop loss to be, or where you want your buy order or sell orders to be, it will fill it at the nearest person that wants to buy or sell. So, and when there's a stampede like last Friday or quite a few days, it's very difficult because you're just a minnow. You're a retail trader with a few micro contracts or one or two, or even up to 6 maybe contracts, futures. You're small fry. Those order books will take the big ones really, really, sooner rather than later. So that's my take on that. The thing is to do is take this time to observe, learn, because it probably never happen again. But make sure that behavior is back to normal. Okay, so now what I want to do first is, so in the title for the webinar that the emails went out, I was talking about fresh air. It was talking about, hi Richard, it was talking about Depth Heatmap, fresh air, signal, confirmation, fresh air. The Stocks Predator works like that as well. So it's just a good time to introduce the Stocks Predator. The Stocks Predator will be released next week, although some of the previous versions, beta testers have got access to it today. I just want to go through a couple of things. I've made some training videos on that and they'll be released shortly. But I just want to go through where we are. So the Stocks Predator is not just for stocks, ETFs, but it will also look at a lot of different asset classes. It will all looks at futures, forex, indexes, and crypto as well. It looks for Confluence in those, and at this moment in this advantage version, it looks at the roller coaster, the xBrat algo, and the heat map. When they're all together and they all get Confluence, there's a really good trading opportunity. We will be adding other instances to that in the near future. That scan runs every 24 hours. And at the moment, it's scanning 4,881 tradable stocks, ETFs, forex, futures, indexes, that sort of thing. And what it's doing is, and then we can pull those together with different filters. So for example, and we can build, so if I want out of all of those stocks, last night's scan picked up 4 that were in Confluence for a long trade, okay? Out of all those stocks, and those stocks, they look at countries. So when we look at those countries here, we could look at, there's German stocks, there's US stocks, Canadian stocks, UK stocks, French stocks, you name it, the ones that are tradable. It's not, those that think you've just got to trade US stocks, sometimes actually putting your eggs in one basket, maybe having a bit of diversity into European stocks, for example, or Canadian stocks is a good thing, especially if it's a good mover. So out of those 4, everything I put those support and resistance zones on. So I'm just going to make the chart a little bit bigger from there. And I want to go on this FEIM to begin with, and I'm going to change it to the weekly time frame. So our indicators are on there as well. Those 3 for now. There will be a lot more on it in future versions, and we can use all the drawing tools. Unlike a lot of these people that use TradingView can't use the drawing tools and all their indicators. Everything is available on here as well, okay? This is our own dashboard and all the drawing tools. So what I've done on the weekly time frame here is, remember, we need to get that operational landscape for a stock, whether or a futures or a crypto. We need to understand it. So when we're swing trading, these scans are all done on the daily time frame. Okay, so I've gone to weekly to define some really strong support and resistance zones. We can see since this stock was IPO'd, we've really been in a massive range. It broke down in that range in 2022, and then since we broke this big support here in January 2024, it's been in a bullish trend. So we got a really strong support down here, and we got a massive pivot just at this point where my cursor is, and a pivot up here. That defines a really strong resistance zone. Bring forward, we get tests into this resistance zone on number of weeks, and then we finally push through in December 2024. And then since we've hit the top and formed the top of this trend channel, we've pulled back, and we've found support at this next support zone, and then we're back into this bullish trend channel. So I've defined my operational landscape for this particular stock. I'm going to go back to the daily time frame now, because this is where it becomes interesting. Because so we need a signal. In this case, we've got a confluence of signals. We've got a roller coaster signal that was given here on the 20th of March 2025. Okay, it didn't breach the start line of that roller coaster signal. Since then, we've had a 5-star buy, and now yesterday we had a 6-star buy. Okay, on all 6 time frames on the buy step heat map, you can see the latest are all green. So we've got signal confirmation, we've got fresh air all the way up to the top of this what we call nonlinear support and resistance. Okay, this is a channel. So in reality, we are going to put a stop market order on. We don't want to get in this stock unless it goes through 1751. We've got a double top here, if you like. We've got a 6-star buy signal. Now it needs to get through the start line. Very important. So we've got combination of signals, confirmation. We've done some very simple work understanding where that long-term bullish trend channel is on the weekly time frame. We've got room to go all the way up to $23, $24 up here. in this channel there. So our risk reward as time goes by goes from 1.3 to around 1.6, 1 to 1.6. Stop if you're swing trading would be at 1336 underneath this support zone here. Again, options trading, if you looking at options trading, in reality, I would look for a if options are available and they're any good for this stock, a $24 strike price would be really good. And I'd be probably going out to June, something like that. But it's got to get through the start line first. That's the important thing. Now, on the Stocks Predator, we can switch to the live chart and we can actually see where that price is right now. So we've got an inside day today. It's rejected those lows. That's good. Remember, our start point's not until we get through here. So this is where we are live right now. It's a slightly delayed day, but that doesn't matter. What we can see is this is what's happened today. So we're not just going to press the button and buy some shares, okay? We need it to move through that point here. 1752 is our entry. So buy Depth Heatmap is giving us that confirmation. We've got, if we just pull back over to the scan results, we are in Confluence, okay? All three are green. Okay, really, really good. Now the other ones, no, not really a decent trading opportunity between them, purely because there's no fresh air, okay? And that's the main thing here. So again, we've got a nice trend channel on APEI. We got a 6-star buy. We got a roller coaster, and all 6 time frames are green on there. We've got full Confluence, but the next resistance zone is only 1 to 0.5. So it's very, very small risk to reward and not really there. The only one that could be an opportunity is for options traders, and that would be on HWKN. The reason why I say that is it's quite an expensive stock, so options traders probably look at this, but this is a reasonably convolute type thing. Let's go to the weekly time frame here. Again, so what we have is we have this bullish trend from 23 going up. It did have a parabolic move out of there, which was an earnings related. We've hit this high and we've pulled back. Now we've found support of this previous pivot here, and we're almost back into that channel again, but we know it can break out. We know the next resistance is up there, and that gives us a target for trading options, okay? So again, we need a start line. So if it breaks out of this channel, really for me closes above 115.57, we'd go for strike price probably in the middle of there, around $137, something like that. How far would you go out? I would probably look at this move that came out here. That went from mid-July to hit there in October. So in reality here, we're probably looking August. August type options, $137 strike price. I'm not going to tell you how to do that strategy. I'm not an options trader, but that's one opportunity there. So let's get that back in the center. So before I move on from this section on Stocks Predator in particular, any questions on the Stocks Predator? I know some of the original beta testers may be in here today. Put it in the chat. So whether you're on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, or streaming live on there, there's people watching, or in the room on Zoom. Got any questions? Okay, so yes, it's up to the user to mark the channels and support and resistance zones themselves, okay? We can't do that for you, but what I can do is teach you how to do it. And I've already made a video with FEIM as an example starting right up there. And what I'm going to do with the Stocks Predator when it's live is I'm going to try and do a Sunday live stream on a Sunday, going through some of the stocks that have been pulled up on the scan from the overnight on Friday. help people by doing that live stream for half an hour, picking some of those that are in Confluence and drawing those support and resistance zones on. Because the more you do it, the more you practice, the more it becomes natural. For me, I just pick out the points and draw them, okay? Okay, so no, you do not place trades through the Stocks Predator. This is a dashboard for you to do your analysis. Okay, so lots of people have lots of different brokers. So you will just need your broker app open or your broker platform and just put that stock market order on for that particular trade. So we haven't got connectivity through TradingView to brokers, okay, at this moment in time. But again, it's a very powerful tool, and we can even, so I've added some dynamic watch lists. So one of these is in one of the training videos. So we've got pending buy orders. Okay, this is very interesting for me. So this is basically the very start of potential Confluence move. So imagine Confluence as a river. And that first bit of tributary that feeds that river to start that directional flow is that first signal, that first green, if you like, because I've gone for longs, pending buy longs, okay? Now, some of these may not be the right for you. So, you can actually look at where you want to be, the asset classes. You might just want to be ETFs and stocks, for example, or you might just want to be crypto and ETFs, and so on and so forth. So no filter there. What we're looking for really is some, some stocks that are maybe on that cusp of starting something good. Not all going to be great. You're going to have to be a little bit, for me, it's about trying to find those ones that are looking like they've got a lot of fresh air and are ready to go. I'm on the weekly, that's why I need to be on the daily. Let's go back through there. So we're not going to have a 6-star buy. This is one I prepared earlier. Those British people will know Blue Peter. So FBGI, okay. Now, this moves well. I've gone on to the weekly and drawn those support and resistance zones in, which is really good. There's no trade there right now. It's a cheap stock, but we've got that first bite of the cherry, that first Confluence. It's just starting, and this needs to go on a watch list, okay? So this initially, those dynamic watch lists, pending buy roller coaster, that will send an email automatically to me every day if new ones go onto that watch list. But I can always then add it to others. So I've got a early mover watch list, which I just did today for a thing. So we'll see FBGIs on that early mover watch list. So that early mover watch list, then every day when I come into here, this is on my early mover. What needs to happen for this stock? Okay, so let's just go back to that weekly time frame a second and understand those support and resistance zones. Very, very strong. Okay, so we're looking at major pivots. This is a major pivot down on this downward move here. Okay, it tries to come back up and it rejects us. So that's the top of that zone. We also get another test of the top of that zone on this recent pivot here, okay? Really, really strong. Where's the bottom of that zone? Okay, I've just gone for the body of that weekly candle there. That gives me a good sort of resistance zone. Here, we've got a test of support at this point, and then a test at the lower bound here, and we're below there right now, okay? So there's some things that got to happen. We can see the trailing stop for this downward trend trade needs to be broken, which basically means we need to break this support and resistance zone. So some things have got to happen right now. We need more bullish momentum to push through this resistance zone. That will then give more bullish momentum on the bias depth heat map. We will probably around about sort of $10-ish, not saying exactly, we'll get a 5 or a 4 or a 6-star buy signal on the xBrat algo. So what we're looking for on here at the moment is we've only got 1 green. But on my early mover list, I can just look at that every day. Just a quick scan. Okay, we're now on 2 green. We're now on 3 green. Don't even need to look at the chart. I've already done the work. Okay. So that's how we build those early mover watch lists. And just to show you what those emails look like, where is it now? Okay, so this is what it looks like. You'll get this is an email that's sent out. My 3 Confluence bulls, my 3 Confluence bears, pending by roller coaster. There's those early ones, and I've got another watch list 2 out of 3 Confluence bulls as well. And any new ones, I get an alert, and the email comes out every 24 hours when we've run those scans. Okay. So let's just take that back to my 2 out of 3 Confluence bulls now. So we've got quite a lot of stocks on there. We've got 32 stocks on there. And one thing we can add on here is, okay, I actually want to probably look at just consumer, because, you know, consumer type. So I can go in there, I can filter those out, and there are my stocks. Okay. So there's my stocks for 2 out of 3. Okay. And then I can, I'll have a look at forex if any have come up on the scanner. Okay. So now I can look at these, I can do my work. I've got 2 out of 3 green. So these are a little bit closer than those early movers. British Virgin Islands stock there. BJ, consumer defensive. Long time since there. Okay. It's not too bad. It does behave pretty well with these little jumps. We've had the thing that's took us off is we've had the 6-star buy, we've had the roller coaster, but now things are settling down. Our price depth heat map isn't 6 out of 6. Let's just pick up another random one, and we go here, you know, and so on and so forth. So we can filter those out as well. We can remove that filter, and we can just look at industrial stocks. Okay, ADT. Wow. Okay, there's some big moves in that one with the Trump tariffs. That one doesn't look too bad. AGX. Nice moves there. But anyway, we can build those what we call dynamic watch lists. So when the scanner runs, when the markets are closed each night, it will repopulate those dynamics depending on the rules that you've given it. And then your main watch lists, for example, could be Bitcoin, for example, okay, or NVIDIA and that sort of thing. So what we can do then is let's just get back to our end of day scanner. I go to asset classes here and I can just look at forex. So then we have, so Euro, AUD, we 2 out of 3 green there on the daily. So this is where we are on the daily right now for Euro, AUD. We've got 2 on Euro GBP. Okay, they've gone already. Okay, not a neutrality on some of these. William, I'm showing you the stocks Predator right now. We're then going to go on to futures. Okay, not everything's about futures. If you've been trying to trade futures these last couple of weeks, very difficult. Actually, to build wealth, you need to be able to invest and trade in stocks. You cannot build wealth just trading futures. Some of these big growth stocks, for example, the last 15 years by Microsoft, massive, just little chunks, using that excess cash from trading your futures to actually get just those excess into those stocks, really, really important. And again, if we don't want to trade forex, we can look at futures. Okay, we can look at futures here. We can look at 6E, for example, which is the euro. Okay, on the daily time frame, doesn't look too clever, but there was great opportunities there. You know, we can look at shorts as well on SB futures there. These are swing trading opportunities. Oh, that looks good actually. Our swing trading opportunities. I mean, you just look when we get the confluence. So I'm going to talk through this particular sugar futures here. And again, this for swing trading, these types of futures, very good. I'm going to put some vertical lines on there and so you can understand where I'm talking about confluences. So let me just find vertical lines for a start. Okay, so the first line is we get a buy signal from the roller coaster. Look at the buy depth heat map, green, yellow, and red. No good. Okay, let's clone that and let's pull that over. We get a 5-star buy on the xBrat Algo. We've still not got any confirmation. Okay, we get confirmation on our 6-star buy. Really, really strong. And right now, we are coming back down through, and this is a pretty good trading opportunity. So not everybody likes to swing trade. That's fine. Just trying to show you that we have lots of different asset classes on here to be able to use the stocks Predator. Again, we could even look at just crypto, for example, for a swing trading opportunity. So if you're investing in sort of crypto, not a lot there. TRX USD has got 2 green out of 3. Wow. Okay. So one of these, this confluence type of strategy is very good for crypto. When you look at this one, we were basically in full confluence here at 19333, and then it just went nuts. Okay. If we measure that, that's 129%, okay, on that swing trade. That swing trade would have gone in on the 15th of November 2024. Big move up on that day to the 3rd of December. Really great looking trade there. And it's setting up ready for another pop again. Probably for me, I wouldn't go above until it was cleared all of this rubbish. But still, potential upside is massive. So very versatile, lots of asset classes, and very good. So let's go back to futures. Silver's there. Look, at the moment, we're just one red. Okay. We missed that red. We're just one red there right now. What else? There's natural gas, NG, there it is. Yeah, all the main futures are on there. Okay, and those scans will come up when they come up. Okay, it'll tell you those longer term moves when you need them. Great shorting opportunity with Confluence here. 4, 5, 6-star buys here. Very, very good. Even got micro gold futures there as well. So yes, if your answer, it does scan for those as well. No, it's not yet. It's not. Our slogan has not been updated on the new stocks Predator yet. Okay. Okay, that's enough. Anything else on the stocks Predator before we go from there? Because we've done exactly half an hour, and that's what I planned for the stocks Predator. Any more questions before we crack on? Yes, they are. This is the dashboard that you receive. You get access to. Yes, the charting, the indicators are on there. So we go back to our 3 out of 3 on the scans there. the three out of three bears, for example, Etsy. The indicators are on the charts, and it's a full charting package. It's all built in. It's all one. You can change it to light theme if you want to. And then you can set your trade alerts. So I've got my trade alerts with my dynamic watch list here, and I want daily trade alerts by email. Only send email when new alerts are available. And also, when you first set them up, you can click send now, and it'll send you the email as well. And then the full charting package and indicators are on there as well. No, this is our own standalone dashboard. It's not available. It's not on any platform. This is our platform. Okay. That will be out soon. It's about for this version here, it's around about $1,000 a year to lease, okay, or $100 a month. And then the next version, we will be having 2 more traffic lights added to it. That's cool. That will be premium, and that will have unusual options activity and insider activity. And then the VIP version that will come out before the end of the year will have everything you've seen today, plus the premium, plus Elliott Wave, auto harmonics on the chart, Slingshot, EMA Cloud, you name range breakout. I've got a great strategy to teach the guys when we get to VIP status of actually doing a range breakout on the earnings reaction. There's no lifetime licenses. No, it costs a lot of money to keep going, to develop, plus also to actually do that. The way things are going now with AI, the cost of data and everything like that, those days of lifetime licenses are pretty much redundant unless you find an algorithm, an indicator. It's end of day because it's swing trading. You don't need anything else. And then obviously you on the bit here, you can get live anyway, slightly delayed by 15 minutes, but it's enough. Okay. Absolutely. If you're paying $1,000 a year, you only need one good trade a year, and you've got a return on the investment, or you pay $100 a month for this advantage version. You don't need many trades to make $100. You can buy one stock at $50 and it move a little bit, and you've made your money back. So it's not a great deal, but we need to cover our costs. This is a very costly project. It's been 18 months in the making. Okay, the first iteration failed, so then we had to go back to the drawing board and build this whole new thing again. So this is extremely stable. Scannings are brilliant, and it's not just those stocks. It's ETFs, it's futures, it's crypto, it's everything. It's about getting the confluence. Once you've got that, they're very, very strong opportunities. Any more questions before I move on? No, there's no trial version. But watch out. If you're on the email list, we're going to get some offers out when we launch as well. Okay. Right. So let's crack on. Let's have a look at gold. Let's have a look at some behaviors and things like that and see where we are with some futures type things. So, okay. So this is a 5-minute. We'll look at ES to begin with as well. So one of the things I talked about at the beginning of the session is understanding what happened over the last week or so would have blown through. Thank you, Matthew. Would have blown through like this here, some support and resistance zones. So these are 30-minute zones, these are 15, these are 60. These are all automated zones on the NinjaTrader platform. Okay, totally automated. It's taken my 30 years plus experience. It took a year to develop, but it takes that logic of mine and adds and takes away multiple time frame zones all on the same chart. Okay, very, very good. And it allows you to look for that fresh air. But what's happened in the last week or so is we've seen major moves, okay? I'm going to put previous zones on there as well. So the fact that this has blown through that 30, okay, this was news-led, okay? Now, we need to now let things settle down, and you get this one wasn't tested at all, okay? It was blown through there, blown through there. If it doesn't get tested again within a certain criteria of time and volume and all that sort of stuff that we do the calculations on, it will be taken away. Okay, so if I just go back in time a little bit and we look at some of the support and resistance zones, if I take off previous zones, you'll see some of those disappear because those were blown through and they weren't respected anymore. And this is live, so we need to understand and see what is respected in the next week, understand that behavior starting to calm down and look for those trading opportunities. So we've had data today. We had CPI data today. This is the trading buddy on NinjaTrader. So we can see the actual data points. We've got another one coming up shortly. We have 30-year bond auction coming up. It's a medium volatility type data point. We did have CPI earlier. Didn't really make a lot of difference. It was enough to push back down through this point here. We can see that same data on the gold chart here. Didn't really go anywhere until really we started the US market opened. We see that correlation between GC and ES. So we see here on the trading buddy, we see that negative correlation. That's normal behavior. That gives me a little bit of comfort that going into next week, if that continues, that correlation when ES goes down, gold goes up is normal behavior. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Is I'm trying to see more and more instances of positive correlation between euro and GC. That's good. That's what should happen. A negative correlation here with gold and ES, and then a negative correlation with gold and ZB. So I'm looking for normal behavior, and I'm looking for that over 4 or 5 trading days, so I can understand that next week where we are, we're getting to where we need to be with that behavior, with those correlations, the support and resistance zones, everything's back to normal. And then I can start trading again, because when I start trading again, I need to understand those support and resistance zones have held. I need to understand where that fresh air is. I need to understand which strategies are going to work and all that sort of thing. You can't just switch on a chart and start pressing buttons to buy and sell. You need to understand the behavior is back to normal and you can start trading again. So for example, on this particular move here, we've had a pullback. Let's not overload this with indicators, but let's put on the Slingshot, for example, here. Thank you. You're talking about the trading buddy, Aniket, yeah. I mean, again, we invest a lot of money in this type of software, but this is the software you need to understand the behavior, and that's what it's all about. Did I actually activate that? Indicators? No, I didn't. Slingshot. Going to take a little time to calculate now, guys. And I'm probably going to have to mess around with the time frames, but we did have during the European morning this pullback into the pullback zone, and then we had the Slingshot to target 2. When we talk about Slingshot, this is our signal. So the way we work Slingshot is it's bounced off this big Confluence support zone. It's pushed up, it's pulled back and relaxed. There's been some profit taken. Then we get the type 1 buy signal here. All 6 time frames agree. We've got a signal. We've got confirmation. Have we got fresh air? the target zone that we look for, and there's 3 target zones, 1, 2, and 3 is in this confluence zone here. This second target zone is the one that needs to be clear of the resistance zone. So that's our fresh air. So we've got signal, confirmation, fresh air, hits target 2, take your profit, okay? Do not get emotionally involved. That's where we need to take that profit there, okay? And again, that's a good time to take that profit just before that, the big, the data, the CPI data at that point. So now we've had a pullback on this. It's not met the criteria for the Slingshot, so it hasn't actually printed anything on there. What I'm going to do is take Slingshot off for a second. Where are we? Indicators. Why that? And I'm just going to add something called the VWAP Predator. But it'll take a while to load up. Yes, you are using Renko. I'm just started on this 5-minute chart just to show what it is, Art, okay? You can use, I use Renko all the time. I'm just trying to show you what the methodology is of the Slingshot. And the same with now the VWAP Predator. This will take a while to load. So when we talk about behavior, a lot of it is down to volume and price action. Okay, so remember we had the Slingshot. It came on here, it pushed down, it pulled back, and then we got to move. Okay, we got to move and it works. Brilliant. Okay, so where are we now? How do we trade this push through of this resistance zone? And this is where we understand the behavior, and that we can keep an eye on those correlations, make sure everything's okay and working. Just email info. I'll put it in the chat at globaltradingsoftware.com for your questions. Brilliant. So 5-minute gold, Heikinashi, we get a signal here to buy. We've got all 6 green on the Depth Heatmap. We've got no fresh air. We want it to push through. What happens? When it pushes through, it really finally goes with that buy signal. We've got confirmation from 6 timeframes on the buy signal, confirmation. Where's the next bit of resistance? There isn't any. We've got fresh air. We trade, we take the trade. This trade, simple entry, is a stop market order just above the buy signal, okay? When that turns red, this ribbon here, that's when to get out your trade. It's that simple. This ribbon, if you look, is actually 1 candle in advance. So it's actually this candle here that you get out. So let's measure that in ticks. This was a 168 tick trade. Okay. Really, really simple. Really, really simple. And this is, so the VWAP Predator is a momentum indicator, whereas the Slingshot it measures the pullbacks and you trade the Slingshot in the same direction. Different strategies for different times of the day, different market conditions, pushing through support and resistance zones, getting that confirmation signal, buy signal there. All 6 green, that's your confirmation, loads of fresh air to trade into, and then just use the ribbon to manage the trade, 168 ticks. That simple, okay? You don't need to overcomplicate things, especially as we have on the NinjaTrader platform, these automated support and resistance zones. They're called guardian zones. They keep you out of trouble, okay? So they're there to define that those support and resistance. This is Confluence. So this, if I take the 60 off, you'll see that grid disappear. If I take the 30 off, take the 15, 15, 30, 60. That's a massive bit of resistance. When it does break through with increased volume, how do I know that? Because I've got a buy signal on the VWAP. That's your stop market order at 3167, 50, 168 tick move. That's what you should be looking for, okay? That, to me, at this moment in time, is a behavioral trade that works well. I'm understanding correlations are right for gold and euro and gold and ES. Everything seems to be working okay. There's still a little bit of doubt in the markets, and we still need things to settle down. But observations I'm making today give me confidence that if this continues into next week, the week after, I can start trading again. Art, what you need is a momentum indicator like the VWAP Predator. That's your signal, okay? You also need Slingshot, which is a pullback, because that's a trend. That's a trend following indicator. At some stages, the Slingshot will not give many trades because something may not be trending, okay? If that's the case, you're more likely. So the Slingshot trade was earlier on in the day on this particular time frame, and there was no other trading opportunities. The next thing is we have an opportunity with a different type of strategy. So start with two strategies, the Slingshot and the VWAP Predator. They're your signals. You must have the bias depth heat map because that's the confirmation for anything. And then it's no paralysis in that you need to understand where the support and resistance zones are, hence the Guardian zones. It does that automatically for you. You don't need to measure, you don't need to do technical analysis. It just prints and takes them away on the chart when they occur, okay? So in reality, yes, I have got all of this on here, but any trader worth his salt needs to understand behavior. And having those visuals here with the trading buddy and understanding those correlations, and those can be changed, okay, depending on what instrument you change. These three here, these will always remain the same. This gives me a good indication that market's behaving in the same direction. There's no sector rotation, NQ, ES, RTY, YM, pretty much positive correlation, or red, normal market behavior in that sort of situation. So, I mean, that's, to me, that's all you need. You need the Slingshot for when it pulls back, you get in a trade in that trend direction, and you need the VWAP Predator. And then that confirmation is always from the bias depth heat map, no matter what you're using, and you need those support and resistance zones. That's all you need. Then we go to ES. Let's go, in fact, yes, it's probably let's go to oil, okay? And let's have a look at a smaller time frame. Oh, there's some good zones on there, actually. So let's go to the indicators a second. I'm just going to get those correlations sorted out. So I want CLHG. So on oil and copper, some good correlations there. You usually see positive correlation during the European morning and negative correlation during the US morning. We want CLES, and I want CL, and I want bonds. Yes, we can have a look at that. It's a really good combination. Again, it's about trying to find the two that gives you that confluence. When we looked at the stocks Predator, for example, we used two signals and the confirmation from the bias depth heat map to find that confluence. And that's what you're looking for with trading indicators, because they're different strategies, okay? So I've got an oil here. I'm going to go on a... I'm going to put on the data series, I'm going to go Heiken Ashi because we're going to use that xBrat Algo. So it's a good question. And we're going to go 3 minutes. I'm going to 90 days back. Let's go 60, it'll be fine. Okay, that'll load up, and then I'm going to add the xBrat Algo. So the xBrat Algo is a Confluence type signal indicator in that it gives a 6-star buy, a 5-star buy, a 4-star buy, a 3-star buy, and then vice versa for the sells. No, there isn't Guardian Zones Trading View. We've tried. We spent over $15,000 and it wouldn't work. Their platform is not sophisticated enough to do it, and it's as simple as that. So xBrat Algo, we'll go 5 and 6-star buys, and then we're gonna add the VWAP Predator. What I'm going to do, the VWAP Predator, it's Y, and then that works out. So the Guardian Zones, the logic takes a lot of power. TradingView is a cloud-based server, whereas NinjaTrader is on your computer. So if you've got a powerful computer, you can do loads with the logic. And that's what we're all about, really, doing loads with the logic. Okay. Bias depth heat map needs changing into scalping. Bias depth heat map. Scalping. Okay, let it load up again. There's a lot going off, a lot of calculations going off here, guys, because we've got, I've got the trading buddy, the Guardian Zones calculating. I've got the VWAP Predator, the xBrat Algo, and it's still loaded up that reasonably quick. It still hasn't loaded up those support and resistance zones yet, so let's just give it a little longer. Okay, got 10 minutes left. Hopefully it'll do it before then. So yes, there we go. Right, I just want to give you a scenario here. So, right. Matthew, xBrat Algo, VWAP Predator. Here we go. When we get a confluence of signals, so we get a 6-star sell and a sell signal going through that 30-minute zone, we are 5 out of 6 on red on the VWAP Predator. That's good enough for me on a scalping on a 3-minute. Our entry is at this point here. We take the profit there. This oil trade, again, look at this previous pivot. Our entry should be just below there, around about 61.49. Take profit at the next Guardian Zone, 132 ticks. Job's a good one. Okay. Only look for those in Confluence. Signal confirmation, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 6 is what you're looking for. You've got no fresh air there. You've got a 6-star sell and you've got a sell signal. You've got confirmation. You've got no fresh air. Look what happens. It bounces off it and then comes back and tries again. Okay. For scalping with this Confluence strategy, 5 out of 6 is good enough. 6 out of 6 is okay, but 5 out of 6. Okay. So it's the xBrat Algo. So what the xBrat Algo does is, so when you get a 6-star buy, that's 12 out of 12 points of control of Confluence. Okay. A 5-star buy is like a 5-star hotel, 11 out of 12. Okay. And that's called the xBrat Algo. So in this situation here, we got a buy signal just before the xBrat Algo 6-star. We're 5 out of 6. Eventually, it just goes up. It goes pretty flat. But what you're looking for is, and again, we use the xBrat Algo also on swing trading on the stocks Predator because it's very, very solid. Okay, opportunities are there abound. So we can even go bigger on this data series and go 12-minute. I like 12-minute on oil and copper, actually. But on the bias depth heat map, we need to go to day trading settings. Okay, so let's go to indicators and we're going to go to the bias depth heat map. I'm just going to change that at the top there to day trading. Okay, So with 12 minutes, you're looking for longer term moves, which are good. I mean, let's not look at it. This was yesterday. That's not real world, but it does happen. So when you can't combining these, what happens is sometimes, and you've got to consider when I talk about 12-minute, I'm building Confluence app at the moment. And, I like to put, if I just draw a vertical line here, for example, on this 6-star cell, okay? This came in at 11.24, but it's too close. So it's a 6-star cell on the xBrat algo. It's a sell signal on the VWAP Predator. We've got full confirmation. We've got no fresh air. We don't take the trade. However, we get a sell signal on the VWAP Predator here at 13.24, 11.24, okay? 2 hours. That's my max. That's still active for me. That's a Confluence, full confirmation. My trade is going through this pivot here at 59.52. This continues to go until that point when the ribbon turns green. So this trade is worth 224 ticks. Fresh air. What do I mean by fresh air? Okay. Let's move these vertical lines out of the way. Support and resistance zone is done automatically on NinjaTrader by the Guardian zones, okay? This is like an apartment floor, okay, if you like. We get a signal, but there's no fresh air from that signal candle to the apartment floor. By fresh air, I mean risk to reward. If I was to measure the risk, so the stop just above here at the VWAP, the entry here, there's no risk to reward, no fresh air. However, when this punches through here, okay, I've got a lot of fresh air. If I just use a quick tool here, fib extension, put my stop at the VWAP, my entry at this point here, 1 to 2. Where's my next support zone? All the way down, miles and miles away, okay? Loads of fresh air. Whereas this is no fresh air. Does that make sense, Ahmed? Yeah, the 5 and 6 stars signals are from the xBrat algo. Yeah. So this is what I talk about. Signal is a signal generator, okay? And we can look back further. Let's show previous zones. Signal generator is the xBrat algo or the VWAP Predator. Let's just look at the VWAP Predator in this situation here. So this is sell signals, 1, 2, 3. This is momentum building, okay? We've got signals. We've got confirmation because all 6 time frames are red on the bias depth heatmap. Have we got fresh air? I know we have, but I'll measure it and show you. Our stop is just above the 60-minute zone. Our entry is just below on that third signal. We're 1 to 1.6 to the next support zone. Signal. Confirmation from the bias depth heatmap. Fresh air to the next Guardian zone. Good. But what happens? We get a sell signal through there, okay? What do we do with the VWAP Predator? We add another contract. Okay, so at this point, we put another contract on when it breaks that start line. Okay, the ribbon's still red. There's no way we're getting out of this. We've got lots of fresh air down to the next support and resistance zone. It's free fall. Okay, so one contract here, we're getting towards that support and resistance zone. Signal candle breaks it. Okay, add a second contract. We have a slight little pullback. We get another one. Why don't we add another contract at this point here? So now we're 3 contracts in. Okay, keep going, keep going. Okay, So if we take an average, so one contract here, second contract here, third contract there, we're around about this point for the average holding position. And that's when we take out the profit down here, when the ribbon turns green. Let's measure that move for 3 contracts. 3 contracts is, oops, I used the wrong tool. I need a ruler. From here to here, 357 ticks with 3 contracts. Anybody, quickly, what's 3 times 357? It's over 1,000. Okay, it's over 1,000 ticks times $10, $10,000. Okay, this is the power of the VWAP Predator. This only needs to happen once every 2 weeks, because when it does, it's very, very powerful. We've got confirmation at every stage of adding those contracts to that free fall. There was a bit of support here, but we had enough risk reward to take that, because the stop above there, entry above there, it was minimal risk. Then adding another contract at this point, and then another one, I'd probably never go more than 3. That was a really, really strong trade. Okay, guys, 9 p.m. here. We've done the hour. Any questions before I go? So the first half was on Stocks Predator. Second half was on basically NinjaTrader and some of the tools that we use. Again, Guardian zones, very strong. Support and resistance zones, done automatically for you. Don't even think about it. Bias Depth Heatmap is your confirmation tool. And then we talked about a few different signal tools as well today. At some stage over the next. So this recording is actually streaming live on YouTube. So this is available on our YouTube channel right now, straight after this. The guys will take a bit of time to put some links down below, but in all the links standard is our flip book with all of our products. So any more questions before I go? No, there isn't. Guardian zones will never go to Think or Swim. Okay. You're very welcome, Peter. Thank you, Richard. The only platform that's sophisticated enough to take the logic that I want to use for Guardian zones and a lot of other things is NinjaTrader. I'm sorry that you've got other platforms, but if you want sophisticated logic, with algorithms extremely powerful, you need to pay. Okay, TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is free. Why is it free? Because it's very old and clunky. Okay, TradingView is quite cheap, but it's on cloud-based system. Yes, you have to pay for the NinjaTrader platform and then bolt our logic on top, the software, but you get what you pay for. If you're going to take this seriously, you invest in your trading business and you do it properly. Oh, that's brilliant, Aniket. Wait, so you've got the heat map and the VWAP Predator and you're minting money. That is absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. I'm glad it's working for you. Yes, if you go onto our YouTube channel, or just send an email to info@trading. You're on our YouTube channel on globaltradingsoftware.com, xBrat Trading. Look at the playlist, look for Bias Depth Heatmap, and there is probably 70 videos on the Bias Depth Heatmap. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Any more questions before I go? 9 p.m. here. Want to get some sleep soon? Thanks, Richard. Thanks for your help there. Okay, guys. Really appreciate you turning up today. And what I'm going to try and do is start to do some more live streaming as the markets get better. And then once we launch that Stocks Predator, and try and do a live stream at least 2 Sundays a month, if not every Sunday, depending on my travel plans. I can actually ask the developing team about Indian stocks on there. It's about the data. That's more than anything, Aniket. But I will ask that question because that's a very good point. So with the stocks Predator, I will ask if we can add that there. Okay. Because at this moment in time, country-wise, we've got Brazil, China, Germany, Luxembourg, United States, you know, you name it. It's all there. But I know we don't have any Indian stocks right now, so I'll have a look. Okay, guys, I'm going to get going now. Thank you very much again for attending, and hopefully see you on some of the live streams next week and in the future.